Okay, I'm going to show you how to make a coffin for your geometry class. So I'm assuming you have access to Tinkercad, you've set up an account, and you know how to access your design space. If you need help with that, either come down to the Fab Lab and see me, or you can see one of my other tutorials that are available to you. So when I think of a coffin, I'm thinking of your traditional Dracula-like coffin, and that is made up of a couple trapezoids. So I'm going to go to search. Okay, so I just went over here. This search button right here. I'm going to search for a trapezoid. I'm going to type in trap, and here's a nice trapezoid that comes out. I'm going to take that. I'm going to stick it in my plane. Okay, and that's pretty much the only shape I need right now. Okay, so having made that, I want my coffin to sit kind of horizontal, so I need to rotate that. So I'm going to take this, and if I use my right click on my mouse, I can rotate it. And I see this little arrow thing that goes left and right. I'm going to rotate that through 90 degrees. Now I want to show you something. If I stick my cursor right here, I can go through single degrees, which is nice for some things, but I want to go through very specific degrees. I want to just go 90 degrees. And so this will snap at those specific angles. So I go 90 degrees and I'm good. Okay, now I also want to place this on the ground. And so this little cone-shaped arrow here allows you to bring it away from your working plane or into it. And you can see how far it is. Like right now, it's 10 millimeters above. So I'm going to bring it down till that's 0. So now that 0 tells me I'm on the plane. Otherwise, I can just grab it and move it around that plane anywhere I want. Okay. Now, you need to be careful when you do grab it, you don't accidentally click on one of these. These are how you change the size of it. Okay, which I'll go over in just a second. Okay, so if you want to grab it, grab somewhere else, and you can move it around on that plane. So remember, this cone goes up and or away from or towards the plane, and then moving it in the plane is just grabbing it and dragging it. Now I've done something here that's going to really help with trying to align these shapes. I've done a snap grid here, and I've got it to 5 millimeters. Now what this is going to do for me is allow me to position things fairly accurately relative to each other. If I went down to these smaller ones, I can have more precision in where to put things, but it's also a lot harder to align things. So as you're trying to combine shapes to make a specific shape, I would recommend doing 5 millimeters so you have kind of a little more choppy motion, but you don't get things misaligned. If you do want to move something more precisely, and then you can just click here and change it to any dimension here for snapping, and you can even turn it off. Okay, so with that being said, I've got this. I'm going to move it up here. And if ever your angle gets weird, you can click this home button right here, and that allows you to see it in a standard way. You can also grab this up here if you'd like to move this. You can move it all the way around. But again, your right click allows you to orbit, and your mouse wheel allows you to pan. So if you oh, mine's kind of jittering here. I don't know why it's not working. Okay, it's not working right now, but you can pan. But anyway, the right click allows you to orbit. Okay, like that. All right, so next thing I want to do is I want to get another trapezoid and put it on this one. But all I'm going to do is click on this one and do Control C, Control V. All right, and so now I've got this other trapezoid, and in this case, I want to rotate it around 180 degrees that way, so it faces the first one. And I'm going to bring it up till it touch like that. Now you might say, well, how do you know if it touched? Well, it's basically I can eyeball it because I've got this grid spacing so big. If I move it even one more, it really looks like it's not on. If I move it one more this way, it's clearly not on. If I move it this way, no, it's very big spacing, so I can kind of tell. And I can zoom in with the mouse wheel, rolling the mouse wheel, and I can kind of see that. You can also use your arrows on your arrow key to move it, so you can see how big those steps are when it's 5 millimeters. So I know it's touching. I can move that other one and show, yeah, it's definitely moving to the right positions. So those are touching because of that large spacing. I'm going to zoom out on my home button just to help me get there. Okay, now that would be for a fairly short, wide person. I'm going to change it so it's not quite so short and wide. I'm going to grab this one. Oop, wrong one. I don't want that one. I want to grab this one. So I'm clicking on this one, grab this box here, That allows me to stretch it in one direction. I'm gonna, I don't know, make a guess of someone. I'm thinking Mr. Kuhn's kind of tallish. Maybe make it kind of tall like that. Something like that. That looks like Mr. Kuhnish size. Okay, so now that I've got that, it's looking pretty nice. Now I can do, if I hold down the shift button and click on this, I've now selected them both, and this thing becomes black, which means I can combine them or group them together. So I can group it, and it becomes one object. And if you look at it, that seam went away. That tells me I really did join them together. It really is one object. Okay, so that's nice. It confirms that I made these one object. So now that I've got that, I can do a variety of things. So for example, what if I wanted to cut it out and make it an open coffin? All right, something I can do there is, let's do this and do Control C, Control V again. Okay, and then I can take this one and make it a little bit smaller. So I can click on this one, and I could either drag it, or when I click on that edge there, I can type in here and type in a specific number. So I'll make it 155. Hit enter. Made it a little shorter. And I'll click on one of these side ones and come down here. It's not letting me go there because it's too far, too close to the screen. So let me get away, click back on it. Now I'll click on it, come down here. Let me type that to be 70. So I just made it smaller in both dimensions by 10 millimeters. And now I want to like put it right in the middle of this one and use this to cut this one out. To make it perfectly centered, one thing I can do is use the shift button to highlight them both. And this is also darkened, so now I can click on that, and it gives me these centering or these alignment knobs. So if I click on this one, it aligns them in this direction or along this line. And if I click on this one, it aligns them together, so right there in the middle there. Okay, so that's nice. All right, so one last thing I want to show you is if I click on this middle one, okay, I can make it either a solid or a hole. Okay, looks like I clicked on the wrong one. I made the outside one a hole, so I'm going to unclick that one. Oops, just done over that one. Okay, if I click on this middle one, did I get the middle one? I don't think I got the middle one. I need to get this middle one there. There, now I got it. And if I click on the hole, okay, now I've turned that into a hole. Now, if I, again, shift click on the outer one, or highlight the whole thing like that, I can group them, and I just cut a hole out of it. And I just realized I don't want to cut a hole all the way to the bottom. So let me undo that, Control Z, and let me grab this middle one. Yep, and make sure I got that one. And let me lift it up 5 millimeters. Now I'll highlight them all. And if I group them, I've now cut it out. So those are a variety of tools that you can do. I'm going to just show one more that you might use if you wanted to make something a little differently. We're going to pretend here is a cylinder that represents Mr. Kuhn. We're going to place it on the surface. Now I want to show you how this works because you could place it on the edge. You can place it on this edge. I could place it on this top here. Or I can place it in here, or I can just place it on the work plane. So if I place it right here, it places it on it, and I know it's touching it. And so now what I can do is if I scroll in, I can see these dimensions, and I can make it long. I can make it a little wider. I can make it a little taller, and so on and so forth. I can make it look like the dimensions of something. And so that's another thing I want to show you, because you might want to embellish a face and put something on a face, and that's a really quick way of doing it, is just dragging it straight to the face like that. Okay. All right, so I've shown you all those things. I'm going to delete this because I don't want that in there. So that's how you can combine shapes, search for shapes, combine them, align them, size them, and move them around, join them, and align them. So there are all sorts of different things you can do. Now, I have this shown in another video, but I'm going to go ahead and do it here. If you're ready and you're like, hey, I want to 3D print this, you can go to Export and save it as an STL. Okay, and that just saved it into your your downloads folder as an STL. Now it gives these funny names, these titles that are just random or AI selected. And so if you want to change that name, you can just type it here, like say coffin, and enter. And if you wanted to export again under that name, STL, it now downloaded it with that name. So that's how you can both prepare different shapes and do it. And I encourage you to be creative. You don't have to do it just this way. You can make all sorts of shapes by combining these things to be a variety of different shapes.